From the McCormick Gymnasium in Fargo, North Dakota. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jed Thomas alongside of my partner Haley Buckles as we get set for North Dakota High School volleyball action as the Shanley Deacons get ready to take on the West Fargo Sheyenne Mustangs. Well, folks, the season is drawing to a close here for both teams, but we have got one heck of a game in store for you here tonight before this season wraps up. Shanley at number 3 in the EDC, the Mustangs at number 2. It doesn't get much better than this, folks. Last time these two teams met, it was a 3-0 blowout in favor of the Mustangs, but both these teams have come a long way since then, and I'm expecting a great matchup here tonight. Folks, for now, we're going to have to send things down to the PA announcer, but don't go anywhere. We got a great night of volleyball action coming up in just a few minutes.
At this time, we ask that you please rise or move all headwear as Father Charles LaCroix will lead us in prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Father, through the death and resurrection of your Son, Jesus, you have made us your adopted sons and daughters, confident to call you Father. And we thank you, Father, for gathering us together as your family here tonight. We ask you, as always, to be with us and watch over us, bless us, and those that are near and dear to us. Keep the players in good health, allow them to play to the best of their ability. Reward them for their efforts. May we enjoy the contest here tonight. Let everything that happens here begin with your inspiration, continue through your grace, and be very pleasing in your sight. And when the evening is through, help us to arrive at our homeward destinations in safety. Pray this in your Son Jesus, by the power of your Holy Spirit, you are God, forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Please remain standing as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be sung by Megan Matheson and Chetson Drake.
Don't go anywhere, folks. High school volleyball action is next after a brief word from our sponsors.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Beyond Boundaries Therapy Services, Butler Machinery, Ed's Marine, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Hurley's Religious Goods, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Network Center, Northern Improvement, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford, Shields, Taxman, TCI Insurance, and Wolf Steel Construction.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School volleyball action. I'm Jed Thomas, of course, joined by my partner Haley Buckles, as we're getting ready for what should be an absolutely fantastic matchup here between two of the top teams in not only the Eastern Conference, but really the entire state. Wouldn't you say, Haley?
I agree, Jed. You know, these are two fantastic teams out there. You know, Cheyenne's shown a lot of improvement these past couple games. They've been doing a fantastic job. Last time they played Shanley, they did fantastic. And Shanley on the other side, been doing great, coming off a couple great wins. They're playing really well together right now. They're showing fast, and they throw powerful on the outside hitting position.
Yeah, for sure, Haley. I think both these teams are really trending up right now. They're both trending in the right direction, headed towards the state tournament and the EDC tournament, of course. Looking at tonight, though, specifically, who do you see stepping up for both teams individually?
You know, looking at the Sheyenne Mustangs, Olivia Dorburn, she's a middle and a right side hitter at 6'1". She's going to be a beast in the middle. You know, with her height, she's got a lot of great assets. You know, there's a lot of things that you need to look out on the Deacons side for her height. And going over on the Deacons side, Grace Meyer and Jordan Schaub, that two combination setter-hitter combo, they do a fantastic job out there. They do a great job. Grace has a lot of good power and a great ability to have good court vision in her varsity time she's been playing so far these past couple of years. Shows when she's out there with her experience.
Yeah, absolutely, Haley. I think all those girls are going to have a big impact in tonight's game, especially DeBrin's for Cheyenne.
Correct.
Standing at 6'1", that's some height in the middle that Shanley really does not usually have to contend with. They've got pretty tall girls that they like to use, like Lander Fredericks, Paige McAllister, and usually those girls are going unopposed up the middle. Not tonight, though. Dobrins is going to be there to get in the way and create some problems for him.
I think it's going to be a battle on all positions tonight. I think defensively, you know, the back row for the Deacons has been outstanding this year. They've had great defense, and they've been hitting really well. But I think the one thing that, you know, Cheyenne, if they want to counter to her, kind of go at Deacons a little bit, is hit that middle area. You know, with the height that they have a couple girls that are at that 5'11" to 6'1" range. And I think that's a good asset to them that they have.
For sure, and you're right, Haley. That back row has been very strong for Shanley.
Correct.
But they are going to have to they're going to have to step it up to another level even here tonight, because they're going up against a Cheyenne team that, frankly, they just drop bombs at the net. They launch some real heaters there, and that back row is going to have to deal with very tough shots tonight.
Yes, they will. I think the Deacons are going to have to watch out for tip balls as well. Even if Lander Fredericks and Paige McAllister get up to the net, I don't know if they're going to swing all the time. I think they're going to tip the balls here once in a while, and that back row has got to stay on their toes and be ready for that.
All right, well, we are just seconds away from getting this highly anticipated game going. Again, when these two teams first met, it was a 3-0 win for West Fargo Cheyenne. But for those of you that know the sport of volleyball, I think we all know that that can be pretty misleading. 3-0 doesn't always tell the tale of what happened, and I think these teams are much closer in terms of competition than that score really showed.
I think it's going to be a game tonight on both sides of the ball. I think defensively and offensively. I'm expecting Shanley to go out there and, you know, hopefully get a good rally here right at the beginning, and I think Cheyenne's going to answer pretty quick.
All right, well, let's see what happens here as Haley Giak begins serving for the Deacons. Got a quick shot on the outside, blocked by Meyer. Ball popped into the air with the set by Newton, and the spike almost fielded by Manuel, but she was just short of it, and it's a 1-0 lead for Cheyenne.
You know, Cheyenne did a good job there, initially getting blocked out of the gate on your first attempt to try to get through the net, and that ball went all the way up past up to the rafters, and to guide that ball back down and be over and focus and get it over the net. Good job by Cheyenne there.
So, serving now is Brooke Prochaska for Cheyenne. Giak is there for Shanley, set by Stroup, and here's Meyer now. That one hit the net and then was saved nicely in the back by the Mustangs. Quick shot, though, will be too strong, and that's a Deacon point as Feist was a little too strong on that one.
And good job by the back row there for the Deacons to follow that ball all the way out. Some defenses, you know, they just have that ball and they just watch it go up. They actually track it all the way to the line. Good job.
So Riley Payne serving for Shanley. Prochaska sets. The spike is too strong from Ellie Such.
You know, right there, just as, you know, offensively, you got to snap your wrist through a little bit more and get that ball coming down. So you just kind of sailed it a little bit, but she's done a fantastic job.
Right, and that's the second play in a row we've seen Cheyenne do that, so something to watch going forward here as that ball was blocked partially at the line, but it then fell out of bounds. That was Newton who got the muscle behind that one, able to get through the block. Feist back there serving now for West Fargo. Low serve. Giak is there. Stroup now sets for Fredericks looking for the kill, and she gets it. Fredericks opts not for power that time. Instead, she picks the corner, and it pays off.
Little finesse there from Fredericks. Usually we see her go up and just kind of power that ball down and try to get a 10-foot line, but she showed a little technique there in opening that back right corner. She did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I like that. She kind of feigns the power, like you said, and then pulls up with the accuracy. So here's the set from Prochaska, and then the spike is just out of bounds. That was Borkart, I believe, who put that one just a hair out.
That was a good setup, though, by Sheyenne. There was a gap there on the Deacons' defense.
Yeah, they were definitely going for the right area, just not quite on the money with the shot. Prochaska sets, and an excellent play made by Such. She was going up for the spike, but the Deacons were anticipating it, so she just pokes it over.
The set was a little too far out. Timing got off, so she had to poke it over a little bit.
Low serve by Stroup, and that's an ace for the Deacons.
And one of those players we said earlier to watch out for, Jordan Stroup. She's a fantastic player. She's coming off a fantastic season. She just recently got her 1,000th career assist not too long ago. She's just a great all-around player for the Deacons.
No doubt Stroup, one of the best players on this Deacon team. And Haley, how about this? A 6-2 lead for Shanley to start things off, and they've already forced Sheyenne into taking a timeout.
I truly did not expect that out of the gate. I think Shanley did a great job at just, keeping the throttle down and pressuring them, making Sheyenne try to beat them and, be technically sound. The Deacons right now have been technically sound pretty much overall. And Sheyenne has, had a couple of mistakes here and there in timing. Sets have been a little far out. But, I think in this timeout, they'll clean that up and they're going to go back out there and it's going to be a big match.
Absolutely. The difference, I think you're right, Haley, has been who's making the mistakes and who has not been.
Yes.
And I would certainly say that Sheyenne has made a few too many errors here to start things off.
Not very common for them.
No, very uncharacteristic. Perhaps this environment in Shanley's home gym is playing a role. Maybe not, though, as that's a clean kill for the Mustangs.
That was a great way to answer out of a timeout. That's the one thing you look for as a coach, getting an answer right away from a timeout, and they did a great job there, Sheyenne.
So Newton gets the kill there, and now DeBrins will check in for Sheyenne. One of your players to watch, Haley.
Yes.
I certainly think we'll be calling her name a lot. Hoffner serves. Heinrich is there. Stroup will now set. Here comes Fredericks going for more power there. Prochaska makes a great save, but it's put out of bounds by Newton. That's a point for the Deacons.
That's just difficult there. Off the initial pass, if the pass isn't, fantastic or great, it's really hard to combat that and get it back into play.
Meyer now serving for Shanley. Taken in the back row that time by Feist. Here's the shot, easily handled by the Deacon back row. McAllister on the outside, couldn't get the kill. Quick set, no, it's faked by Sheyenne. Hoffner that time just opted to push it over, and Stroup couldn't quite get it under control. So that is now 7-3 in favor of the Deacons still.
The one thing I've noticed from Sheyenne already is their focus, and not to give up on the play. There's been 2 or 3 times where that ball's gone higher, the ball's gone flawed out of the line. They've done a great job at just bringing it back in and playing through it.
Yeah, the timeout certainly seems to have helped, and excuse me, it's now 7-4. My apologies. Sheyenne picking up their 4th point with that last play, as this ball is now headed out of bounds, and right as we were talking about them cleaning it up, Haley, they go back to it.
Yeah. And it's really uncharacteristic of, like you said earlier, I went to the other game and I watched it when they were at home against Sheyenne, and they were technically sound. They were a fantastic team to watch.
Yeah, Haley, it's been surprising to start, as here's something even more surprising.
Yeah, really.
Kleiman puts the serve into the net, and that might actually be the first time I've seen her do that. I
think Kleiman for the Shanley team is probably the best server on the team, and that's very uncharacteristic from Kleiman.
Yeah, so both teams coming out a little off their game perhaps, as Payne will put that one out of bounds, and that was a close call, but they'll say it's just a hair out.
It was just a little bit out of bounds, but that was a great job by the whole setup there by the Deacons. Good set and good kill, or attempt.
Giak took that one a little too high up near the shoulders, and just like that, it is a 1-point game. Haley, the Mustangs have really made the proper adjustments coming out of that timeout,
yes,
it seems.
They did.
The serve taken by Giak, set by Stroup, and now Payne fires one, and this time she's on the money.
Same location, just brought the power a little bit more, snapped that wrist a little bit and brought it down. Did a fantastic job there.
So now back to serve for Shanley. We talked about Kleiman maybe being Shanley's best server. If she is, then Manuel is probably a close second. The lefty, another strong server for the Deacons. Power shot is blocked by McAllister, but we got a violation for a double hit.
Yeah, I guess it is. I didn't see a double hit, but it appeared that there was.
Yeah,
from the ref standpoint.
Right, that was the indication they gave, and so, you always run the risk of some sort of violation when you're up close on the net like that. I was just surprised to see the double hit indicated. Nonetheless, we go back to it as Payne puts that one into the net, and we are now tied up 9-9.
And just like that, both sides, a little technical error here and there from both teams can be a big thing, and you go back to 9-9 now.
Kranz is back there serving still for Sheyenne. Straub sets. Payne spikes. It's tipped by Newton and kept alive by the Mustangs. Thrown over that time by Feist. Contested at the line, and Feist gets the kill.
And that's the one thing that we talked earlier about Sheyenne is their height advantage. And right there they showed it with the vertical and the length of their arms to get up and above that net and just challenge it. And she did a fantastic job there, challenge it above the net there.
Kranz still serving. Straub sets it up. Put over by McAllister and mishandled by the Sheyenne back row. Now make it 10-10 now. Meyer stepping back in as Giak goes back to serve. Low serve by Giak. Played nicely by the Mustangs. Here comes Feist. She was showing power. Instead, she tapped it. Shanley not fooled. This time she tries the power shot. It's blocked by Payne and Straub. Payne pushes it over. Recovered nicely by Sheyenne. Straub contested at the line with Feist. Fell on the Shanley side. Here comes Meyer looking for the kill. Too strong, and Sheyenne wins a hotly contested point.
Good job by both teams that are contested at the net. As we can see, there was real no setup there in that volley. It was mostly just poking back and forth from the net, and that's a good job by both sides of the ball there.
So Manuel takes this serve. Straub now going to set it up for Meyer, looking for redemption that time. It was tipped at the line and kept alive. Newton gets it over. Giak was there. Here's Kleiman now sending it forward. Meyer going to try to save it. Not much she could do, though, as it was headed in to the judges' tower right there.
That's tough out of that initial pass. Like we did earlier, Sheyenne had a problem with it. To control it, and when it's out of bounds or a little bit tougher off the side of the arm, it's hard to control that.
So we're looking at a 12-10 game in favor of Sheyenne now. They've really turned things around here in the middle part of the game. And so a little bit of a delay here, but Prochaska is now ready to go. Strong serve, Manuel there. Straub trying to tip it over, contested at the line. Kleiman makes the save there for Shanley. Meyer fires one and gets the kill.
And that's what we said about Meyer. As one of my players to watch, Grace Meyer with her power and accuracy, showing that, that she, a couple past years she's played varsity ball, and that shows it right there. It's just, expertise at finding the gaps and going there with power.
Absolutely, Haley. And here's Payne. Very powerful on the serve, and too powerful that time, just out of bounds in the far corner. Maybe trying to do a little too much on that one.
I think those just tend to be a little tricky, and I think, you just got to go out and play against a good team like this.
Manuel takes it. It finds its way over the net, and the Deacons go out of position. They were trying to get the block, and as they went up to the net, they left a hole in the defense that was nicely exploited by the Mustangs.
The Deacons need to be careful at having those balls hover above the net with the height advantage from the Sheyenne Mustangs.
Feist is serving now. Giak there to take it. It makes it all the way back over. Straub at the line as well as Fredericks, and Lander Fredericks gets the kill.
Good job by Fredericks to answer there, also with the height advantage from Shanley, just to get up there and poke that ball over.
Right, and Fredericks will have to have a big game here, as we talked about. Cheyenne has got a lot of height up front, so Fredericks will have to combat that for the Deacons as Newton loads up. Giak was there to get it, though. Now Straub over to Meyer. Meyer's shot taken by Prochaska, put up into the air by Krantz, and now it's Giak who's got it in the back line. Matheson fires one, played nicely by Prochaska, a little bit out. Newton saved it and got it back into play. We're still going now as Straub sets up for Fredericks, who's blocked. Great save by Heinrich. Straub setting up for Meyer. She fires, and we're still going. Prochaska sets the spike. It's blocked. Prochaska again tipped over. Matheson's there. Straub now to Meyer, trying to find the hole, and she does. A huge point, one for Shanley.
Good persistence by the Deacons there to go out there and not give up. Both sides of the ball, great volley. That's some good volleyball we're watching here tonight, folks. Good job by the Deacons and good job by Cheyenne there. That was just overall was fantastic to watch.
And a tough break there for Shanley after a huge momentum point one.
Yes.
Straub puts the serve into the net, and that will cost them some momentum.
You got to make those. After a big momentum play like that, you got to get it over the net. But, it's 1 point. You still have another down.
Right, got to get out of your mind and recover quickly. So Straub now sets it up behind for Meyer, and Meyer gets the kill. A nice set and a great kill from Meyer.
A good setup and a way to answer off coming off of that, bad serve into the net. Good job good set by Jordan Strout to set it to, like I said, Grace Meyer. The combo right there, Grace Meyer, Jordan Strout. expected a lot tonight.
Right, and it was very well played. Meyer was coming in behind her. Everybody thought Stroup was setting forward, and then she flicks the wrist back to get it back to Grace Meyer. Excellent chemistry between the two seniors as Fredericks loads up and gets the kill. The power and the accuracy that time.
Good job by Fredericks here. Fantastic job to show her height and be able to hit line. She did great.
Meyer continuing to serve now. Strong on that one. Feist went after it. Almost lost it there. She'll get the kill attempt, though. Fredericks got to it, and now it's pushed over by McAllister. Hoffner was there for Cheyenne. It's mishandled at the net. They kept it alive, though. Matheson pulled her arms back just in time, and the ball's out of bounds off the Mustangs.
Good focus by the Deacons there, just to pull off the ball there, just good court awareness by the sophomore.
And Haley, I believe we have another Cheyenne timeout. So, with this break in play, folks, we do want to take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at ShanleyAthleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. So, Haley, what do you think of this decision by Cheyenne to take the timeout?
I personally wouldn't have taken timeout. It's not, they're both playing really well. They just came off a really good defensive stance there. But I can see where they take timeout, and the fact is, let the girls settle down again. It's still a tight game. Set one's not over yet. Just to relax a little bit.
And it appears to have paid off, at least in the short term, as Meyer maybe was iced there a little bit, and she puts it just out of bounds. And Cheyenne, Haley, they're really trigger happy with these timeouts. They've shown a tendency to call them right away when they feel like they're in trouble, and it seems to be working so far as Fredericks awkwardly gets it over the net, but hey, it works. That attempt now will be taken by Heinrich. It was Borkhardt looking for the kill. Matheson fires one in to the torso of Feist. Perfect positioning there by Megan Matheson on the shot.
And Megan Matheson, one of the younger girls on the varsity team, going out there and showing some time, and she hits really well. She's got good power and good accuracy for her age.
So Kleiman is back serving, looking for redemption after an early struggle. Uncharacteristic struggle, like we said. It's a 17-16 lead for the Deacons in game number one. Kleiman is true on this serve. Newton sets it up, and that attempt from Dobrins was blocked. But did we have a violation there, Haley? Or did it just fall on the Shanley side?
It just fell on the Shanley side. The power from Dobrins there.
It all happened so quick.
Fantastic.
Straub sets up now for Payne, and Payne! What vision of the court there, seeing the open area and exploiting it, and that's not an easy shot either.
No, and to be able to hit cross court on the bottom side of your screen of the net there is a very difficult task to do, and she's practiced it a lot, and she's done a fantastic job with it tonight. It's the second and third time I've actually seen her do that across court.
So here's Feist looking to get a point back, and she does. Haley, how about the power from Feist so far?
And the power comes after. They've always, the Cheyenne Mustangs have answered after every one of the big momentum swings that the Deacons have had tonight. And it's been with power and accuracy from Dobrins and Feister. They've done a fantastic job tonight.
Extremely back and forth so far as Kranz is serving. Kleiman back there. Straub sets for McAllister, blocked partially at the line. Kranz now will try to set up for Feist. Just got the arms out there to get it over. Excellent play made as Straub goes over to Payne, who was too strong on that one. 19-18 now in favor of Cheyenne.
Just a little long there. Just got shortened up a little bit, a little more wrist action coming down, and that ball will go in.
Cranes continues to serve here. Straub to Payne. Excellent save made by Newton. Now Lambert will get it over. Straub is there to make the play, and a miscommunication. That's not what you want if you're Shanley. That's a mistake you really can't make in a game this close.
No, you can't make those mistakes. Just sitting there and, you talk it through. You got to have communication. But if you don't communicate, and someone, at the end of the time, someone's got to get the ball no matter what.
So here's Straub now over to McAllister, and McAllister using the power. She's just a freshman, but you wouldn't guess it based on the way she can hit that volleyball.
McAllister is a great player that rotates in. She's a fantastic job with her height and the power she has. She does great for a freshman out there.
Here's the set, and then the shot on the money from Galdi. Galdi gets the kill and makes it look easy.
That was good power there. Really good power.
Prochaska back to serve. Manuel there to take it. It took an awkward bounce. Kleiman saves it and gets it up to Payne, who gets it over. Lambert, now the quick set, and the shot from Feist. Feist just too strong. And now it looks like we've got a timeout taken by the Deacons, down 3 here late in the first set.
The timing from the Sheyenne Mustangs right there is fantastic. They did a great job from setter to hitter, you know, getting the timing, and then a couple fakes come in there, and they did just good contact and everything on that ball from the setup to the set to the initial kill. The Deacons, a few little errors here from the initial pass and setup, but I think they're going to fix that in that timeout that Daly just took right now.
Well, you know, Haley, it's interesting. Cheyenne started making a lot of those errors. Shots were too strong, maybe not on target. It seems like they sorted those out. Well, Shanley, on the other hand, the roles have kind of reversed here. They've been having more of those errors. So just kind of an interesting development here. Not what you want if you're the Deacons. Don't want to fade down the stretch in a very important set.
Especially at the end of a set when it's really tight. You need to start pulling away. And the Cheyenne Mustangs are starting to pull away just a little bit. And let's see whoever's going to close out this set.
All right, so back to serve is Prochaska. My apologies, I've been saying that Prochaska, but I believe it is Prochaska. So Manuel takes the serve, Straub sets, Meyer spikes into the net. Not what you wanted if you're Shanley, not at all.
No, but you got to answer here for the Deacons.
Absolutely. Volleyball, one of those sports. You got to have a short memory in every sport, but volleyball, the way it moves so fast, you got to really put that play out of your head and just move on. So Manuel takes it. Straub will set. Meyer looking for redemption, and she gets it. Finds the empty corner for the kill.
Good answer by the senior there, Meyer. Good job again earlier. She's did a great job of finding those gaps, and she finds those gaps and hits those with accuracy and power. It's very hard to get those up.
So Payton back serving. Lambert takes it. Prochaska sets, and now Newton just taps it over. Giak there for Shanley. It's up in the rafters. Straub got there, though, and now it's sent over by Fredericks. Deep ball from Fredericks. Well played, Prochaska. The shot is blocked from Such. Another try for Feist. Great play by Payne, and Straub gets it over. Lambert opts to play it. Prochaska sets it for Newton. That attempt blocked at the line. Excellent save made by Manuel. Payne pushes it over in the corner. It's still going. Mustangs continuing to try and get this kill. Straub to Meyer. Yes, she gets it.
Good job by the Deacons and great job by the Cheyenne Mustangs. That was a good volley from both sides of the ball. The Deacons came through at the point there, a well-needed point. They needed that for a little momentum. Let's see if they can carry that over now. Over with this serve.
Several times there, Haley, I thought Shanley had him, and Cheyenne recovered every time except at the end there. Shanley finally able to sneak the kill in as another vital point is being played now.
Yes.
Straub to Fredericks, and she gets it. That shot by Fredericks, Haley, she gets the fingertips back on there and just kind of pokes it forward. It's, you know, you got to be careful not to lift it, but she does a great job riding that line.
And she's done a really good job at just showing finesse tonight. Usually she's a lot more powerful, but just finding those gaps and just slowly poking it over. Did a great job.
Adapting her game to better suit the opponent. It's working well. Meyer's shot blocked at the line partially. Prochaska got it to Feist, and it's just in there for Feist.
Feist is having a game right now. She's had a couple really good, big, key kills. I'll hopefully get the ball back in the Mustangs' hands.
Yeah, Feist certainly one of, if not the most important player here for Cheyenne in this opening set. Here is Feist now. That ball taken by Manuel. Fredericks taps it over. Prochaska was there. Newton, now Heinrich there for Shanley. Straub will set. Meyer spikes, blocked. Heinrich up to Meyer. It's still going, but that's it. They were out of hits. And so the Mustangs take set number 1, but it was close, Haley.
Oh, that was a very good game to watch and a very good game to be a part of. You're thinking about both of these teams here. I think for both of them, they just need to go out there and just be technically sound. I think that is going to be the winner because these two teams are very athletic, very fast, and just great teams.
Right, Haley, and I do believe we have some stats here from that first set. So leading the way in kills for the Shanley Deacons, it was Grace Meyer and Lander Fredericks, tied with 4 apiece. Assists, it was all Jordan Stroup there, Haley, with 11 for Shanley, so a big first set for her. And then over on the Cheyenne side, in terms of kills, it was very even. Such, Feist, and Newton all with 2 apiece. A couple girls with 1, so it was by committee for them. And then Prohaska had 6 assists. So, again, not quite as dominated by individuals there for the Mustangs, and that works out for them as they did, in fact, take the first set.
And that's one thing that's really nice about the Mustangs, too, is that a lot of girls get a lot of playing time and they get a lot of kills. The Deacons also roll a lot of girls in. So both of these teams have depth and they roll girls in a lot, and they both contribute a lot to the team. It's just going to see who's going to go out there and perform better at the end of the day.
For sure, Haley, yeah. Shanley's depth is certainly one of its strengths, even if it's not necessarily reflected on the stat sheet.
Correct.
You know, that's just kills and assists. There's a lot more that goes into volleyball than, you know, just the big 2 numbers there.
Yep.
So it's depth just represented in different fashions for both squads. Haley, what do you expect to see now from both these teams headed into set number 2? For Shanley, there was almost a sense of that first set kind of being a lost set. You know, they were strong to start. They looked really good. They played great just about through the middle, and then they relinquished their lead and really had trouble. They were always right there, but they never quite got back on top. So what do you think we see from them trying to recover in set number 2?
I think I see them going out there and trying to be the aggressors in this set. You know, the Cheyenne Mustangs pulled through at the end there and showed a lot of determination just to go out there and finish the game, even though they had started out, I think it was like a 6-2 run from the Deacons. But I expect the Deacons to go out and put the pressure on right away and hopefully keep it through all the way through the set. But the Mustangs, you know, their defense and the way they've been passing the ball, they're doing a great job. Certainly,
Haley, Shanley's going to have to, you know, I agree with you. I think they will maybe go more offensive here and come out a little stronger, come out a little more offensive-oriented. But they're going to have to find an answer on defense for Feist, because right now she's really picking her spots and just kind of firing at will.
Oh, she is. And I think the one thing is it's hard to get up above somebody who is already 6 foot tall and can jump, and the set's perfect right above the net. It's hard to compete against that. And with the Deacons, they have the height and they have the vertical at times when their rotation's in. But when they don't, I think they go right for it.
Well, and the 2 players that they're going to use to combat that height and power up front are McAllister and Fredericks, who are just a freshman and a sophomore, respectively. So they don't necessarily have a lot of experience to put up there. They graduated a lot of their best front court players, a lot of their best, you know, tall, dominant girls in the middle over the last couple of years. So, you know, McAllister and Fredericks have stepped up well. They just don't quite have some of the experience that girls like Dobrins and a few others have for Cheyenne.
I agree.
All right, well, both teams had a few minutes there to rest from an action-packed first set, adjust their strategies here for the second, and let's see what they've got. The backcourt for Shanley, we mentioned, certainly a strength of theirs. They played well, but they're going to honestly have to play even better when you're looking at this Cheyenne attack, because like we said, with girls like Feist up there along with Such and Newton, they're going to have to be even more prepared defensively.
I think the early lead is key in this set. You know, I think if someone gets up, you know, 3-0, 5-0, I think that's going to be huge.
All right, well, let's see what these 2 teams have got as Prohaska serves. Payne's attempt is blocked, and not a great start for Shanley. They looked a little out of sorts there as Newton gets the block.
I think that was just a little bit nerves. You're coming out, you're facing a good team. Little jitters coming off, you know, a loss there in the first set, but...
So there's Manuel to take this serve. Giak gets it forward for Meyer. Meyer's shot played well, but a little off balance that time was Crane's, as now Newton sends it over. Manuel's there. Straub sets it up for Meyer, who just taps it over. Excellent defensive play made by Prohaska. Straub now to Payne. Payne's shot played great by the Cheyenne defense. How about that? Straub gonna set it up once again. Meyer's shot into the net, and that is a stolen point there for Cheyenne. They are just able to keep that play alive and get the kill.
To be able to dive with your one hand out and get that on when it's underneath the net pretty much, that is just pure athleticism.
That was excellently played by Cheyenne, as they're going to try to do it again here. They run out of hits that time, but there's a good point for Shanley, Haley. After 2 great points to start off for Cheyenne, Shanley's able to get on the board now.
Yes, and you know that early lead a little bit by Cheyenne there. But I still think if the Deacons come out swinging right now, they can come away with it.
Heinrich now puts that ball deep. Newton was there. Prohaska goes back to Newton, and too easy that time for the junior. She found a wide open area of the court and exploited it.
There was a pretty big open area.
And that's not common from Shanley. But no. Haley, we've seen a couple times now they're getting out of position, whether that's moving up to the net looking for a block or what have you. They've been out of position a few too many times. Belander Fredericks going to try to change that as she now flips the script on Cheyenne. She found the hole and put the ball away.
I think both of these teams are being a little bit more aggressively minded, and they're getting closer up to the net and leaving that back row area just a little bit more vulnerable.
Strap goes a little deeper with that serve. Played not great that time by the Mustangs. Feist put it too strong, and what a play by Heinrich at the last second. She bails out of it and makes the right call.
Good focus by Heinrich. That was a very difficult ball. Not only was it very high, but it was a very kind of intermediate ball on the line there.
Certainly, as now Prohaska looks to set this one up for Newton, blocked partially up front, and it falls on the Shanley side. 4-3 now in favor of Cheyenne, and Haley very back and forth here to start off.
It is kind of what I expected, between these two great teams, number 1 and number 3. These are two great teams. Oh, wait, excuse me, number 2 and number 3.
Number 2, yeah.
Yep, number 2, number 3.
Davies,
two great
of course, has that number 1 spot locked down for the foreseeable future, as Fredericks is blocked by DeBrins and Borkhardt.
Point Mustangs. Hoffner still serving.
Hoffner continues to serve here. Meyer got there and got it over, and a great play by Meyer. Able to get it over that time.
I think that was kind of a whoops point there. She was trying to set up, and the ball just went over and got a point.
Haley,
a point.
I would have to agree. She kind of reached out from a tough spot, but still a good job, using the hands to guide that one over, because her feet weren't in the best spot that time, as Megan Matheson gets the kill and ties it up 5-5.
And see, just like that, how quick this game can go from being a 2- to 3-point game to tie it all of a sudden.
Certainly can change very fast. We know that with these two teams. Meyer back serving. Shorter serve this time. Feist is there. Prohaska sets it up for DeBrins, who just taps it over. Great play by Straub. Matheson a little strong that time, but Heinrich able to track it down. Here's Newton out of Prohaska. DeBrins looking for the kill again, and was it in? Yes, it was.
That was a good setup by Cheyenne there. They had a little misdirection there on the lower side of the screen, and then up top we had DeBrins. Fantastic job. Good contact on the ball. Way to swing through and follow through.
Yeah,
good point.
Excellent positioning there by DeBrins that time. She first kill attempt was towards the bottom of the screen, and then on the second try she was all the way back at the top. She was moving really well out there, as that serve is too strong. 6-6 now the score. So Haley Kleiman back serving now for Shanley. Borkhardt takes it. Here's the set by Newton, and then Prohaska. No, excuse me, that was Galdi that time. Couldn't get the kill. Strong defense by Shanley. Borkhardt looking to get it. Tapped at the line, and that's dominant play at the net there for the Deacons. Matheson combining with McAllister, as Matheson now looking for the kill herself. Feist was there. Newton out of Borkhardt. Borkhardt again. Straub reaches out for it, and it goes out of bounds.
Another great volley between these two teams. We've had a couple of them tonight where it's been back and forth at the net. When the Cheyenne has come through with a couple points here, and the Deacons have come through with a couple points there, but man, it's been a dogfight.
Yeah, and Haley, that time, as this serve just tips over for an ace, Lambert that time with the ace. Haley, Shanley won the battle up front on that point we were talking about. They were winning at the net, which is something we said they needed to do, but they just ended up losing in the backcourt, as now Matheson gets the kill.
Matheson having a great job tonight. Even though she's a little younger, one of the younger ones out there starting for the varsity right now, she's doing a fantastic job at getting the opportunity when the ball is set towards her and putting the ball down.
Yeah, Matheson has been a great injection of energy here for Shanley in the second set. Manuel, high and long serve that time. Spike from Galdi falls for Cheyenne. And again, that power up front continuing to overwhelm.
It's the power and the height. You set those balls higher, get your hitters going up and jump a little bit more. It's really hard to block those.
So Kranzbach serving. Kleiman is there. Straub will set. Here's Payne now looking for that corner. She didn't have the corner, but she did fool the Mustangs into reaching for it, and that's a good play. Even if it was going out, if you can get the other team to think it's going in, if you can get them to touch it, that's a win. That's a point.
A point's a point, and great job there. It might look like it was going out, but she reached out just to go for it because it's on the fence there. Got a touch on it.
Right.
Point.
As long as you can get the other team to touch it, it doesn't matter, obviously.
Yes.
So here's Newton now setting up, and Feist with the cannon, but it's not on the money.
My.
And that was scary from all the way up here, Haley.
Just hearing it. You could hear it all the way up from our mics up here. Even through the headsets, there's a lot of power.
So luckily for Shanley, that was out of bounds,
yes,
though.
Luckily.
And that is one thing Feist does have to watch. She's powerful, but just got to keep it in bounds. And there's a lift against the Mustangs. And that's a fortunate break for Shanley as they'll get another point.
Yeah, and now the lead.
Things starting to swing back in the direction of the Deacons. Giac's ball, taking it in the back row by Kranz. Galdi then got it up that time, but it was Such who could not quite keep it in.
A little momentum here for the Deacons as Cheyenne takes a timeout.
Not surprising here. They've showed in that first set that they're willing to take a timeout even when they're just going down 1 or 2. And it's been an effective strategy, Haley, because it seems like every time they take this timeout, they're able to stop the bleeding.
Yes, it's been great to watch them go out there and play, especially when they take that timeout, just to regather. And, the Deacons have answered off of that. And Cheyenne, they've been early to take those timeouts, like you said, only about 2-3 point lead. And, it's a good coaching decision there, especially with a tight team like this. You need to settle the girls back down and get back into it really quick.
So the Deacons break from their huddle as Cheyenne looks to just get things back on track. Again, only down 2. The Mustangs going to use all the time they can here on the timeout.
Making the most of what they get.
Certainly. Coach Newton for Cheyenne has demonstrated an ability to make some good adjustments here.
Yes, she has.
Like we said, every time she takes that timeout, she does a great job using it to her advantage, adjusting the game plan as needed. Ball from Giac was fielded in the back row by Kranz, and it just snuck its way in there. And you can see the look on her face. They're fortunate that it was in bounds, but, I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. The fact is, they were able to play it, and that alone gets them the point. And, hey, whatever works, a point's a point, like we say.
Yes, it is.
Straub sets for Meyer looking for the corner. Kranz was there. Now here's Prohaska up to Newton. Her ball into the net. And blocked partially, actually. So that'll be a block for the Deacons, now up 12-10.
Now they just need to keep going, edging away, starting to pull through just a little bit.
Heinrich back serving now. Fredericks has checked in for Shanley, and that's a deep serve from Heinrich. Just too strong that time.
I believe that's her second one of the night that's been a little bit out on a big time where we can get some momentum going for the Deacons. But, you just got to live another down and go out there and play.
Absolutely, and we've seen a lot of girls for both teams have trouble serving as Fredericks is able to get the point. That's just something, that's the name of the game, especially when you're in these, tightly contested, very important high-pressure games. You're going to see more of those errors.
Yes.
So Stroup is back serving now for Shanley. Short serve, Cheyenne able to play it. Feist puts it over. Heinrich now up to Stroup to Meyer for the kill, and Grace Meyer picking her spot that time. It was a tough angle, but she made it look easy.
That's 2 big, powerful kills from the Deacons, one from Lander Fredericks previously, and Grace Meyer, the one you just saw on your screen now.
So Stroup will continue to serve as Kranz played that one in the backcourt. And a great play up front by Borkart. The senior just taps it and finds the gap in between the net and the arms of those Deacon front court players.
Just a quick poke in between that gap there just to get it down really quick. It takes a lot of athleticism, a lot of focus up at the front there. Good job.
Meyer back there, over to Matheson, and now Frederick sends it over, but too strong. And again, Shanley, they just can't seem to pull away here in this second set. They're playing better throughout. They started strong in the first and then couldn't keep it up, but they're doing a better job pacing themselves here. Yet they can't seem to pull away. As Meyer, was it in? No, it was just out. Okay, they wanted the tip and they get it.
They get the tip.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to see from up here in the booth to see where they get the tip at, if there is a tip. And it ended up there was. Good job by the refs there to notice that.
Right, and you know, Haley, I didn't see a tip, but everybody down there seemed pretty convinced that there was one. So like you said, obviously a lot easier to see down there as Fredericks gets another kill. And Lander Fredericks have a game. The sophomore is really off to a dominant start here.
Lander Fredericks is doing a fantastic job up front, showing her technique and showing that she has power when she needs it and using them both when it's a correct time.
So Meyer continuing to serve as Feist sets that one up for Newton. Punched up in the air by Fredericks that time, but it was called a lift. And so again, you know, you see they get to that 2-3 point lead, and right as it seems like they're going to pull away, they make a mistake or, you know, do something that puts it back to a 2-point gap.
Yep.
So Stroup now over to Matheson. Megan Matheson lowering the boom that time.
A fantastic job by Megan Matheson. Like we said earlier, she's having a night. And she's doing a great job, even though only being a sophomore out there and playing against a really tight team and a good volleyball team like the Cheyenne Mustangs. She's doing a good job. Yeah,
right now, Haley, it's the young guns who are stepping up for Shanley, which is maybe surprising in such a pressure-packed game, but it's good to see, certainly, for the Deacons.
Very good to see.
DeBrin sets it up now for Galdi. Kleiman was there, but steered it out of bounds, trying to angle it back into play, just couldn't quite get the right position.
And very good job by Cheyenne there to set it up and to kind of target that back row, because they are starting to pressure up front a little bit more, the Deacons are.
Great defensive play by Giok. Stroup then to Matheson. Matheson maybe too strong with it. Lambert reached, and that'll help out the Deacons that time. Tough ball to judge, though, if you're Lambert. You know, sometimes it's just a flip of a coin, and that time maybe not the right call, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You know, I think they did a great job there.
So, Manuel back serving now. Newton up in the air for Feist. And just as Shanley started to pull away, it's Feist who brings the cannon out to make it a 2-point game.
I think the largest lead tonight's been, what, 3 points? 3-4 points?
Yeah, about, you know, there was a big lead for Shanley, you know, 4 or 5, not a huge lead, but a bigger lead for them to start the first set. Since then, though, Haley, you're right, it's been 2 or 3 points every time. As that ball's just tipped over, Feist will put it up in the air for Galdi. Galdi steers it over the net, Stroup there. Payne trying to poke it over, but the ball from Stroup actually, I think, just found its way over.
Good break by Stroup there. You know, the ball seemed a little bit far out, but she did a great job. The ball was at point's a point, like we said.
Yeah.
And that's a point.
So 19-16. Shanley looking to even things up in set number 2. Newton sets. That ball taken by Kleiman. Stroup now for Meyer. She unloads, and Lambert just out of reach. It's a kill for Meyer and a point for Shanley.
Starting to pull away a little bit, the Deacons are, and here comes a timeout from the Cheyenne Mustangs.
Yep, and I think that was very carefully managed, Haley, by Coach Newton. Every time, you know, we talked about it getting 2-3, 2-3. They were stuck in that cycle, and then the second it got to 4, that was it. Newton called the timeout. And again, I really like the aggressive timeout calling here. From the Mustangs, because you get 2 every set, and at this point, you know, when are you really going to need it more than right here as Shanley's starting to knock on the door to steal this second set?
I agree, yeah. And it's good to see them go out there and play, and both of the teams, even though Cheyenne took the timeout is used well against the Deacons. Well, you know, just to go back out there, focus, and get a good game plan, and keep going, and keeping the gas going on that offensive side of the ball when they get opportunities to set it up.
So Cheyenne, when they took their last time out, they weren't quite able to make the same adjustments they did in the first set. You know, they've kept the game manageable, but they never really did jump back into the lead. Let's see if they can do that now after this one.
Yes, let's see.
Giok is back there serving for Shanley. They lead by 4 coming out of the timeout. Lambert takes it. Put up into the air by Newton. Feist fires one. It got the net, though. That took some of the power off, and Stroup just does not quite square up the hands. And that's a tough break. Uncharacteristic mistake, but like we said, everybody's having those tonight.
I think it's just one of those nights where both sides of the ball, especially in big key moments, both sides of the ball have had, you know, 1 or 2 things happen.
Nerves definitely playing a role here as Stroup will tap it over, blocked at the line and sent back. But a violation will cost the Mustangs that point. And the momentum that they had going their way, Shanley now up by 4 and only 4 points away from taking this second set.
A little too much aggression there from the Mustangs.
So Heinrich serving. Gets it over. Lambert there. Quick set. Feist pokes it over. Another violation. It's a double hit against Cheyenne, and now it's 22-17 in favor of Shanley.
Two big mistakes from the Mustangs right there. You need to go through and be technically sound in a big time like this.
Deep ball from Heinrich. Here's the power shot from Newton. Giak just keeps it in. Excellent play by the senior. Meyer looking for the corner. Good defense played, though, by Kranz. And now Heinrich will send it over as Lambert is there. Prohaska sets it up. Just poked over. And a violation against the Deacons will make that Cheyenne point.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the technical sound and being focused in big times like this, when the Deacons are coming through and have a little bit of pulling away here, we'll see if they can go through and finish this game.
And Haley, I didn't quite catch what they got Shanley for that time, but nonetheless, it's now 22-18. Hotly contested battle at that net. Teams going back and forth here as that ball's sent over by Newton. Straub sets it up for Fredericks, blocked at the line. They could not keep it going. And watch out here, Cheyenne trying to muscle their way back in.
And it's very contested up at the net there, like you said. The height and the athleticism from both sides of the ball. These teams are both fast and very athletic.
And that serve, was it just too strong? Yes, it was. Serve out of bounds, and Haley, that's huge.
That is big.
Big opportunity for Cheyenne. They could have gotten the tie there and a couple points. Instead, Shanley's 2 points away from winning the second set.
We'll see if they can pull through with it.
Borkhardt sets it up. Ball just kind of tapped over by Such. Now Matheson fires, kept alive by Feisted. They could not keep it going, though, and now Shanley is 1 point away. Straub back to serve here on game point. Here she goes. Strong serve, kept it low. Prohaska will set up now as Newton fires. Giak was there. It's up in the rafters. Straub does a good job keeping track of it as now Meyer sent it over and into the net. Meyer and Heinrich with the miscommunication there.
You can't have communication errors like that on a big match point. And I know it's only a 4-point lead, but still. Mustangs to come through and have shown a 4-point lead they can overcome.
Certainly. It's a big cushion, but you can't be too generous with it as now Matheson fires and she finds the back line. How about the sophomore to win this second set for the Deacons?
And like we said earlier, Megan Matheson having a night, one of the youngins on the team, showing that she can play, and she is playing well tonight.
Definitely, Haley. That second set was huge for her and Lander Fredericks, like we talked about. Two young players there for Shanley. So Meyer and Fredericks are still tied in the lead for kills. They have 7 apiece. But how about this? Megan Matheson in third, or I suppose second actually, coming charging from behind. She's got 6 kills now. So those 3 girls for Shanley really having a huge impact. Jordan Strout, meanwhile, already at 20 assists with an ace to go alongside of that. On the Cheyenne side of things, it's continued to be offensive by committee as Borkhardt, Newton, and Galdi are all tied with 4 kills, and then Prohaska has 8 assists, and Newton has 3. So they're doing things much more spread out like we talked about, and it's working for them. I mean, they lost that last set, but it was close, and they did win the first set with the same strategy.
Yes.
So the stats paint somewhat different tales for these two teams, but at the end they have similar total numbers of kills and assists and stuff like that. So it's, certain individuals having more for Shanley, but the totals end up being about the same for both teams.
And they're both playing really well, and I think it's pretty evenly distributed on both sides of the ball, the kills and all that fun stuff. And then I'm just excited to see what's going to happen in this third set. This is a big set.
Yeah, Haley, I know what you're saying here. I couldn't agree more. There's only so much analysis you can do in games like this because when these teams, they're just so close together right now. These sets are so close. And right now, the difference, to me at least, has just been who's making the mistakes, who's playing the error-free game. And neither team is playing error-free, that's for sure. It's just been who's committing fewer errors. And in that first set, it happened to be Cheyenne. In the second, it was Shanley. Let's see if that's the difference again here in the third, or if we see an area of the game that one team can exploit to really open things up.
And, I think you couldn't be more correct. Both of these teams are really good, and it's been a technical side of the ball where, what team's going to make the least amount of mistakes tonight. And both of them have made a few mistakes that have led them to lose 4 or 5 points here and there. And they've been big momentum points, too.
Yeah, definitely the timing of when those happens as well is important. You know, sometimes you lose a point and it almost counts for more like 2 given the circumstances, you know. So it'll be interesting to see here in the third set. One thing I've noticed, though, Haley, I feel like Shanley has gotten a bit more comfortable since that first set. In the opening set, I felt like they were having a little trouble figuring out that Cheyenne front court. Like we talked about, I don't think they were used to another team contesting so well up front. And, you know, we saw some girls like Payne and Meyer who usually have no trouble getting their shots through. We saw them getting some blocked, not quite having the same open space they're used to. I feel like they've adjusted well, though. I think that second set was very good for Shanley. We saw them make those adjustments that they did not make in time in the first set.
I think they've been doing great at making the adjustments. And even just going off on when Cheyenne takes a timeout, they've been coming back out and have good defense and setting up the ball really well on the offensive side. Yeah. And when Cheyenne takes those timeouts, they've come back and answered majority of the time.
Right. You know, Shanley has done a good job not letting the Mustangs use those timeouts to, you know, jumpstart a big run. And that's what you're always concerned about when a team takes a timeout like that. So they've been doing a good job. That second set was promising for them. But this is Cheyenne we're talking about. We know how evenly matched these two teams are. I'm predicting more of the same here in the third, another tight set. So Giach serves to start, and she's back there to make the play on defense as Straub goes over to Meyer. Meyer looking to find the hole in the middle. It was kept up momentarily by Hoffner, but Shanley does get the point.
Very difficult when you're diving with one hand out. Try to get that ball up. Very hard.
And great vision by Meyer there. We've seen that multiple times here tonight. She's doing a great job seeing the whole court and knowing where to put that ball. Kleiman with a nice play in the back row. Strout makes a diving save for that one as it's sent over. Newton fires, blocked by Strout, poked over. Payne is there for Shanley. The set is a fake out from Prohaska, and it's a point for Shanley as they just couldn't keep it going.
Good focus by the Deacons front row there just to stay keen and be ready for those tip balls. Like I expected them to happen earlier when they can't get the ball over swinging. The Cheyenne Mustangs are going to start tipping the ball.
So the serve from Giach taken by Feist in the back row. Prohaska then sets for Newton. Great play on defense there by Manuel. Ball fired by Meyer. Back there was Hoffner. Here's the set, and now the spike from Newton. Did she get that corner? And they'll say yes. So that's a point for the Mustangs. It was close, Haley.
Very close. I couldn't tell from up here.
Yeah, I could easily see that going either way. So it is now 2-1. As Newton is back serving fresh off that kill. Giach there for Shanley. Straub going to set it up for Payne. Feist back there now as Newton sets up. That ball spiked by DeBrins as she gets the kill.
I like DeBrins. You know, what an athlete. Going out there, and she has an extremely good vertical for the way that she plays.
Yeah, certainly. You know, the height and the vertical makes her a dominant force up front. I would like to see a bit more from her as Giach makes a great play. Straub tried to as well, but they just couldn't quite keep it going. As I was saying, Haley, though, I would like to see DeBrins heat up a little bit here in the third set. I think they really need her, especially to combat Fredericks up front. So we'll see if she can play a bigger role here in this set. Payne lets one go into the corner. Hoffner there. The fake set, then sent over by Newton as Straub sets it up now for Meyer, who finds the hole. And again, Grace Meyer, her placement on these, Haley, has been just superb.
The whole season, you know, I've been watching her play. She's had great placement and great court vision. And I think that just goes back to how many times she's been playing varsity, or how
Certainly.
long she has been.
She thinks the game very well at a different level as DeBrins. Man, that was fast and that was well placed.
That was amazing. That was a good play there by DeBrins, you know, coming across court and then squaring up to the net and putting it straight down.
And that's what we talked about. That's what she needs to do, although unfortunately that serve goes into the net for Cheyenne. And folks, a reminder, this is game number 3, not game number 2. Our apologies. Not sure why it's displaying like that, but this is the third game. Each team has won one.
Great job there by Jordan Stroud coming off that momentum swing of that initial serve into the net by the Cheyenne Mustangs and coming through and getting an ace for them right there.
Yeah, Straub capitalizes there with her second ace of the evening. Straub serving again. Lambert there. Ball put up by Newton and then sent over by Feist. Giach receives. Straub sets it up. Ball fired by Matheson. It's tipped and out of bounds. Mustangs couldn't keep it under control, and Megan Matheson continues a great night on offense.
A fantastic night by Megan Matheson, one of the youngins on the team. going out there and just playing hard.
So 6-4, the lead for Shanley as Stroup is still serving. Strong serve by Stroup. Feist played it. Newton over to Feist. Hard shot blocked partially at the line, and too much spin on that ball for Heinrich to really do much there. She got her arms out, you know, made the correct play in theory, but when that ball is coming in that fast, when it's got so much spin like that, you just don't know what way it's going to go.
Oh, it's very difficult to track that ball.
Here's the set from Stroup over to Matheson into the net. And that's 4 hits for Shanley, tied up 6-6 now.
And that's the one thing we've noticed tonight is that no lead is safe at all.
No, very little separates these two teams, like we said. Giac is there as Stroup sets it up now for Matheson, who gets it over. Here's Newton now. The big power shot from Feist. And, oh, man, Haley, between Feist and DeBrins and Newton, the number of weapons up front there for Cheyenne is staggering.
Oh, it's just scary, the power that those three ladies have.
That ball from Meyer up into the rafters as Fredericks now launches it over, and it's just a little too strong. That shows you the strength, though, of Fredericks, because it looks like she barely tapped that thing, and it ends up going all the way out of bounds. And that's using that long frame to her advantage, you know, getting a lot of loft on those balls.
Yep.
Stroup now setting it up for Fredericks. She tried to go straight down this time, avoiding the loft, and that did not work as Feist got her hands up there.
And the height from Cheyenne right there.
And that's what they
big.
need to do, Haley. You know, Fredericks has been playing really strong up front all night long, and they're finally starting to get an answer to her. Matheson gets it over. Kranz sends it back. Stroup is there. Here's Heinrich now over to Matheson. Matheson looking to go across, but she didn't quite get enough on it, and it ended up into the net, and then we had multiple hits there for the Deacons.
The Deacons need to answer here. Cheyenne is playing a fantastic right now.
Yeah, this is a 4-point lead. That's about as big as it's gotten in this game for anyone. Stroup trying the quick fake set that time. Cheyenne not fooled. Feist's attempt blocked, and that's huge for Shanley.
Big play.
Big block by Matheson on the outside there, going up with Fredericks. So Grace Meyer is back to serve as the Deacons trail now only by 3. Here's the set from Newton. Feist again, and she finds the corner.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, there's not much you can say, Haley, and I don't want to scare the rest of the EDC here, but Jaden Feist is only a sophomore, so brace yourselves for 2 more years of this, folks.
Oh, she'd be exciting to watch the next few years.
Brooke Prohaska back there serving, and this one a little too low. Surprising mistake there from the senior. She's been lights out tonight.
And both sides of the ball, or both teams, I should say, have had those big errors in big momentum moments.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. It's just not changing for either squad yet. Kleiman serving for Shanley, and that ball came right over. Riley Payne was in perfect position.
Good job by Riley Payne there just to get up and hit that ball straight down when it's floating up above that net.
So Kleiman will continue to serve. Low serve, but deep into that back row. Prohaska sets it up. Newton fires. It was tipped at the line. Kleiman gets it now up to Stroup. Here comes Payne. That ball blocked. Stroup tracking it down. Matheson taps it over. Excellent play there by the sophomore. Here's the set, then the spike from Feist. Just inbounds, they say.
Feist has had a good night tonight.
That's an understatement, Haley. Yeah, no, it's been quite good for Feist.
It's amazing. She has great court vision, good power, and her ability to have finesse when she needs it.
And, you know, she hasn't necessarily had a huge number of kills, as McAllister gets a nice kill there. She hasn't necessarily had a huge number, but when she does get them, it's such a dominant manner, you know. They're very flashy plays in a good way.
Yes.
And that's what makes her so effective. We talked about how some points are almost worth more than others, and the points where she gets a kill feel like they're worth more.
Mm-hmm. And another error.
Yeah, another serve out of bounds.
Serving error.
That's just, you can't have that, especially when you're trailing here in this set. You really can't let this gap widen anymore. Manuel back there, misplayed it. Kleiman does a great job getting there, though. Payne sends it over. Feist now to Prohaska. The spike. Kleiman was there. Stroup now for Payne. She's blocked. Gia couldn't keep it going. and Dobrins gets the block. Like I said, she was going to need to heat up for the Mustangs, and that's what she's done, as now Shanley's forced to take a timeout.
I think it's a good call to take a timeout right here, coming off a 4-0 run by the Sheyenne Mustangs. They've been doing a great job at, pressuring the net and having key blocks when they need them.
And the big difference for me, Haley, has been that Sheyenne is just winning the battle up front right now. Fredericks has not quite been as effective here, nor has McAllister. Dobrins has been playing better, and that whole front court for Sheyenne is really starting to control the net.
Yes, she has been. And a couple of the players that have come out and started, warm up a little bit and get into the game is Dobrins. She's had a couple big, huge blocks and a few good kills, as we can see her there swinging on the screen right now on a replay. Just showing the power that she has. Great
Absolutely.
job.
So Shanley, they have not taken nearly as many timeouts here as Sheyenne in this game tonight, but they're hoping that this one is effective as they trail by 4 in a crucial third set here.
Yeah, and you need to take that timeout. They're pulling away 4-0, and you need to see if you can get some points here.
Certainly, it's a good call, I'd say, as Manuel played that one a bit too high and off of one arm, but a nice recovery made, and she gets it over. Prohaska now sets, and wide open that time. Couldn't have drawn it up better.
Not the right way to answer for the Deacons, but a huge way to answer from Sheyenne.
Certainly, Dobrins found a big gap in the Shanley defense, and they haven't been caught out of position like that really since the first set. Can't let that happen again. Payne now sends it over, nice and gentle that time. Prohaska's there. Hoffner got it over to Dobrins, who gets another kill. And Haley, like we said, she was really nowhere to be found in the first 2 sets.
No.
She was making good plays, but compared to her standard of play, it wasn't much. This third set, though, she's really come out of her shell.
Yeah, she has, and it's been amazing.
And now Haley Hadley-Huber checking into the game, as that serve, they'll say, was just in, so skirting the line that time. But how about...
Actually, it was out of bounds.
Oh, okay, they will call that out of bounds.
They will call it out of bounds,
all right.
Or maybe they'll replay it because it's a little...
Yeah, they were going back and forth. Cheyenne celebrated there for a minute, but it looks like they reversed the call. So, yeah, out of bounds. Well, that's good for Shanley, and Huber checks out. But Haley Hadley-Huber showing that she is available in this game. She was out for most of this season with an injury, but she's worked her way back, and she is there for Shanley if they need her, as Stroup gets a big block.
Big-time block, and they needed that. They need to show a little momentum here now.
And that's big Haley just establishing a foothold at that net. They were getting bullied up front. That's big to get a block up there. Here's Prohaska setting. Newton just taps it over. If it had been in bounds, it was the perfect play. Unfortunately, she just steers it a bit too far left.
Good idea and great area to go attack. Just a quiet tip over the net, but a little bit out.
So Giak continues to serve. Feist is there. Quick set from Prohaska. Borkhardt couldn't get it across. And Dobrins lets that one drop just a step behind, and it's a point for Shanley.
That's a communication error, I think, there. Just not being as focused. And the Mustangs take a timeout right now. Just, try to refocus a little bit.
Yeah, how about this? They're still up 2, and they choose to take the timeout. And, I know it doesn't seem that crazy, but you don't see many teams taking timeouts as liberally as Sheyenne does. But I really like it, Haley. I mean, the old adage goes, use it or lose it, and they know that you get 2 timeouts a set. You don't get to carry them over, so you may as well take them.
And they've taken them at pretty good moments, A couple 2 big momentum plays, a big block and a big kill there. And they take the timeout just to maybe regroup, stay focused, just go back through and just go play your game. And it works out great for Shanley to go out there and get a good pep talk in as a whole team and try to encourage each other to go out there and just play hard, which they have been doing right now.
Right, Haley, and it's very effective at disrupting the opposing team's rhythm, It does a great job of kind of breaking up a run that they're on, and it forces them to try and settle back in. As Newton fires one, it is blocked by Payne. This ball put up into the air now by Hoffner, just punched over. Stroup was there to contest it. Great play by Manuel to get it back in. Meyer pokes it over, and we're still going. Hoffner now over to Feist. Giak is there. Stroup at the line. She tips it over. Manuel tried to make the save, but just could not. And it's a 17-14 lead now for Sheyenne.
Manuel, one of the great players in the back row. We've seen her make some great plays like that, and that one just really hard to get under.
So Manuel takes this serve for Shanley. Straub sets. Meyer spikes. Was it tipped? No, it was not. It hit the net and then went out. So now it's a 4-point lead for Sheyenne.
That's a hard break there for the Deacons.
Here's the serve. It's low, but Manuel does a great job getting there. Payne just pokes it over, and that's a nice play by the junior, Haley.
Great job by the junior there. And she's shown, a lot of her court sense and her awareness of playing varsity this year. She's done a great job.
Strong serve by Payne. Hoffner was there, and Dobrins lowering the hammer, Haley.
I can't say anything anymore. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's one of my players I wanted to watch tonight, and she is proven she is.
She's just really come out strong here in this third set and kept it going as now Lambert gets an ace. Excellent placement there for Lambert.
The back row a little bit off the line.
Right where it had to be. So she's still serving as Manuel is there that time. Straub sets it up for Meyer. She fires one across. Grace Meyer with the accuracy. That is a hard shot, and she just makes it look so simple, Haley.
Oh, she does. And when she goes across court like that, she does a fantastic job. And it's amazing to see how many times she practices that and actually gets through.
Yeah, Haley, and that's a play that a lot of girls will try every once in a while, often unsuccessfully, as Feist answers with a great kill of her own. A lot of girls try it often unsuccessfully, and Meyer, she does that, 3, 4, 5 times a game and usually succeeds. Kind of her specialty there on the outside. Meanwhile, though, it is now a 5-point lead for Sheyenne, and the Deacons take a timeout, and you can't blame them here. This is not a good spot to be in the third set.
No, it's not, and a good timeout call by Coach Johnson down there. Just have the girls recuperate, maybe get some confidence back to see what happens here. But the Mustangs can use this to their advantage as well. To keep the throttle down, keep going. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen here once they come out of these timeouts.
Definitely, Haley. It's going to be tough. It's certainly an uphill battle. Down 5 here. Cheyenne only 4 points away from winning this set. So we'll see what Shanley can do, though. They've put together some runs. That's the thing here, though. Neither team has strung together a lot of points in a row yet in any of these sets. And so, it's difficult when you find yourself in a hole like this late in the set when no one's getting those runs. It's kind of hard to expect to be able to put one together.
Yeah, it really is. And there's no team that's been really on a true run. I think this is a one run a year that's been successful so far. Right.
This is the most dominant we've seen either team yet. And so let's see here what Shanley can do coming out of that timeout. Heinrich with the great defensive play, but the ball drops right after that, and that's another point for Cheyenne. And folks, we want to give a shout out at this time to a Shanley volleyball alum, Julia Vetter, tuning in from Pittsburgh to cheer on the Deacons. Julia, thank you for tuning in as Meyer just can't keep that one under control, Haley.
No, I think that's just coming down to just being a little nervous right now. You come out of that timeout, you tell yourself, we need a big play, and you kind of overthink it a little bit.
So down 7 now, just 2 points away from this third set being over, and that's not what you need. That ball takes a wild bounce off the arms of Giach, and now the Mustangs are 1 point away from winning this third set in very convincing fashion.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job this set. Anything can still happen, though.
Well, let's see. Kranz is serving. Heinrich's there. Matheson going to keep it going as now Fredericks fires one. Too strong, though. Yep, and that does it for the third set. The Mustangs take set number 3 by a score of 25-16, so that's a 9-point margin. And Haley, that is far and away the largest margin we've seen yet. That was definitely the most one-sided game we've seen. And that's not to say that it was, overly one-sided. I think Shanley still played well, but that shows you how close together these teams are talent-wise that, that was our big blowout set.
It's truly unbelievable to watch, how we say right now, 9 points. Oh, my gosh, that was a big game, big win. But really, in any other game, that's, it's just these teams are so good, and there's a lot of uncharacteristic things that are happening on both sides. A lot of technical errors, a lot of balls in the net, and you don't see that very often. And 4 or 5 points, it's huge in a game like this.
Right, and the thing about volleyball is 9 points, it sounds like a lot, and to a degree it is. You never want to lose by that much, but I don't think that really tells the tale of that set. To me, at least, it felt closer than I think the final score represented.
It was, yes, and it was really close. Both sides of the ball, both teams were playing really, really well. There was just a few errors and a few big momentum keys that happened, at the end there. 2-3 that, went off the arm a little bit on the Deacon side, and then you look over the Cheyenne side, you had 2-3 to go in the net, and that 2 blocks from the Deacons there. They did a fantastic job, and, it's just been good volleyball.
Yeah, no, it was still a very impressive play or set for Sheyenne. But yeah, so it was closer than we think, but still, Sheyenne trending in the right direction here. As folks, with a stop in play, we do want to remind you one more time that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon Athletics to a higher level. So, Haley, we got about a minute left till we start set number 4. Sheyenne will have a chance to come away with the outright win here if they can win this 4th set. Before we get to that, though, what do you think was the difference in number 3? What do you think gave Sheyenne that edge and allowed them to win by the margin that they did?
Truly, I think it's just their outside hitters and Olivia Dorbrins in the middle there. Just really coming out and just proving that they are, great players. And they went out and they played fantastic. And, the Deacons, they still played a fantastic set. But I think Olivia Dorbrins and the outside hitters for Sheyenne were just that one notch, just a little bit above.
Haley, I'd wholeheartedly agree. I think Dorbrins, and in turn, the way she played, the way how Sheyenne ended up kind of dominating the net there,
yep.
I think that was the big difference because up until that 3rd set, it was very back and forth. If anything, I think Shanley was winning up front.
I agree.
And so when that got flipped around, Shanley was left scrambling a little bit. They did not recover great up front when Dorbrins started to take over, and I think that cost them the 3rd set. That made it the margin that it ended up being.
I agree.
So, fresh slate here, 0-0 in set number 4. Shanley has to win to stay alive. Sheyenne obviously would like to win here to end the night with a victory. Shanley already has performed better than the last time these two teams played when it was a 3-0 win for Sheyenne, so they've already taken 1 set from them, something they were unable to do last time. So certainly I think we've seen a marked improvement from this Shanley team versus the last one we saw go up against the Mustangs.
Big improvement.
So we're underway now as Straub sets up for Meyer. Right off the bat, Meyer looking to find that hole. Unbelievable recovery by Sheyenne. The ball falls out of bounds, but that was incredible the way they kept it off the ground.
That was one of the most unique things I think. I thought it was going straight down. The ball went under the net, poked it back up, tipped it over.
Yeah,
it went out, but it was still awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to put it. About 2 times I thought it was on the ground, and they kept it up both times. Like you said, though, it did go out of bounds. Feist receives, Prohaska sets, Newton fires, Giach rocked back on that play, but Straub is there to keep it in. And Fredericks with the kill. She was just kind of tossing it over there, Haley. I don't think she expected it to fall so easily.
No, nor did I. And I don't. She wasn't swinging hard for it. She was just poking it over just to get it over. To, just relive and go to another volley. But got a point out of the deal. 100 points a point.
So Feist receives again. Prohaska sets. That ball's blocked at the line. And it's blocked out of bounds. That's a point for Sheyenne.
Good aggression by, the Deacons. Like you said, I think the Deacons have been winning the up front battle in the last 2-3 sets. In that 3rd set, the Sheyenne won up front on the net. But overall, I think the Deacons have been winning the net battle.
And that's good judgment by the Deacon backcourt, allowing that serve to go out of bounds. 3-1 start here for Shanley. That's definitely what you needed. Deep serve there from Straub. Feist is there. Set up by Newton and Dorbrins with the kill.
And that's a good answer by Dorbrins there.
Yeah, that's just kind of a silencer, Haley. I mean, you've got the momentum going for Shanley, getting some volume in here. They're feeling it. And then Dorbrins, it's not flashy. It's not even close, though. I mean, it's just clinical. She puts it down, and she quiets the gym. And now that one goes out of bounds to tie things up here. Lambert continues to serve. Straub now sets for Fredericks, going all the way over. And yeah, Fredericks, I thought she was maybe going to try to go across, ended up just pushing it out the back of the court. So now it's 4-3 in favor of Sheyenne as Lambert continues to serve, and she picks up the ace. Maya Lambert has had a tough job in that back row, often having to try and
reach out.
Yeah, reach out, defend against some pretty tough balls. The one area, though, where she has been dominant has been serving. She's looked really good there as Matheson has that ball blocked. Giak there to recover. Straub gets it back to Fredericks. Excellent defensive play made by the Mustangs. Hoffner made the save and gets it over and gets the point for Sheyenne.
The Mustangs, are just doing a great job of just staying focused and just playing volleyball. Like, it doesn't look like they're trying to do what they're, doing. It's just looking kind of...
I know what you mean, Haley. It looks very simple, and it looks very casual, and that's the way you want it to look, provided you're winning.
Yes.
If you're scoring points and looking like you're hardly trying, that means you're doing something right, as that's a kill for Galdi, as it just continues to look easier and easier for the Mustangs.
A good timeout for the Deacons there.
Yeah, that's a great timeout, Haley. They really needed that. It was a good start to this set. For Shanley, that's the funny part. They started off well, and so I figured this would look more similar to set number 2.
Yeah.
The way things started off, I thought we'd kind of see what we saw there with Shanley maintaining a little gap for a while. Not the case, though. Sheyenne has done a good job breaking the pattern that sort of developed throughout tonight, and now they've turned things on its head. They're up 7-3, and they're going to try to carry the momentum through this timeout.
I think they are, too, and they've answered well. There's been a few big points that Shanley has gotten right out of the gate. But, Sheyenne has answered really well, and they've looked smooth and fluent out there. Shanley right now, they look good at moments. There's just a little bit they can fix here and there. I think they fix it in this timeout, and I can't wait to see what they're going to come out and say they're going to answer back.
Certainly, Haley, I definitely agree. Shanley is looking good in moments.
Yes.
They're having there are times when they look comfortable and settled in, and then others where they don't, and that's the difference. Cheyenne has looked comfortable really for quite a while now. Shanley's got to get on that level of comfort as this ball goes off the rafters and over, and that was out of bounds outside the antenna. So that's a point for the Deacons, and that's a good way to start coming out of the timeout.
And let's see if Grace Meyer, the veteran on this team, can get a couple points going here.
Feist receives the setup then from Newton, and now Straub sets it up for Matheson. She fires, and a great ball from Megan Matheson with the assist from Straub. That's what Shanley needed.
I think you just need to keep setting the hot hand, and Megan Matheson tonight, I believe, is the hot hand for the Deacons right now.
Here's the set, and then a little tap from Dobrins. Played well by Shanley. They're not fooled, but a great block. And again, that presence at the net is just too strong right now for Cheyenne. Shanley's having trouble with it.
Yeah, and it's only showed up in this last set.
Yeah, certainly, Haley. I mean, it was there in set number 3, obviously, but it's really come out in full force here.
It has.
Kranz back serving. Strong serve, Heinrich there. Straub now going to set it up all the way across for McAllister. It's tipped, Lambert at home to receive, and now sent over by Galdi. Straub makes the play. Matheson going across to McAllister, who just finds the seam.
Good job by McAllister, just to hit line and watches. They think she's younger, so they're going to go up and pressure the net. They come up, she tips it right over. Great job by McAllister.
So Kleiman back serving now for the Deacons. Low ball. Handled well by Feist. Ball set back to Feist, who just taps it over. Giak there. Straub sets for Payne, who fires and gets the kill. That timeout proving to be extremely beneficial for Shanley.
See if they can keep answering here.
If anyone can put together a run serving, it's definitely Kleiman. As she continues here, Feist receives. Here's the set from Newton, and there's a big-time kill by Galdi. That sucks some of the life out of the gym.
And then, like you said earlier, these kills that they have just silence everything. They come at the right time, power, accuracy, and everything just executes so well when they go out and hit some of these balls.
Giak receives that one. Straub sets it up now for McAllister as it's tapped over. Ball put into the air, given over that time to Newton. Here's the set. Matheson fired too strong that time. Trying to make a big play, just tried to do a little too much there.
A little too much there, I think. And overall, it was a great setup and good defensive stance by the Deacons there. Great pass, good set, just a little bit too much under it.
Low serve, Kleiman just gets there, Stroup as well, and Payne gets it over somehow. That ball from Kranz goes right back over, and Kranz is there again to save it. And here's Lambert getting it over. It was too strong. A nice recovery there by Cheyenne. They just couldn't finish it, though. Manuel going to come on now to serve.
Manuel, probably the second best server, I would say, on this Deacon team.
Definitely up there, Haley. One of the best they've got.
And right there.
There's an ace, yeah. I mean, not much more you can say. Picks a good spot. It's that front left corner. She keeps it short, makes him run for it. And what's so great about that spot is if you can find the perfect position, you can force them to kind of play the ball into their own net.
Yes, which happened right there. Oh, my.
And there's a nice response, though, as Mackenzie Newton just loaded up and let that one go.
The front row for the Mustangs have answered almost every time.
Yeah, I mean, they're just really dominant, Haley. We expected that. I don't think they started off how they wanted to or how we thought they would, but they've really come into their own over the last two sets. Kranz is back there. Here's a quick set that doesn't go for Cheyenne, and now we've got a one-point game. This fourth set seems to be moving a lot faster. Both teams seem to have picked up the pace, which is interesting, given you'd think fatigue might be setting in at this point.
Well-conditioned teams.
Certainly. Here's the set from Prohaska, and the kill for Newton. No! Outside the antenna that time. And so we're tied now 11-11.
Now let's see if the Deacons can come back and answer off of that big play.
Yeah, let's see if they can take the lead here, Haley. That'd be huge for him as Giak keeps this one short. Well played by Kranz. Big shot, not quite actually, not going for the power, more the positioning that time. Meyer taps it over, good defense played. Here's Newton looking for the kill, too strong. Did not get good contact, and I'd expect a timeout here. Yeah, that's what we've got.
There we go, yep. And like we said earlier, it's the technical cues. And when you have a big lead in big games like this, those 2-3 points right there, the momentum switched. The momentum was all on the Mustang side, no question.
Most definitely, Haley. Shanley really putting together a great run there. Like we talked about, we hadn't seen many runs for either team, but they really strung together a lot of points.
They did, yes, and it's great to watch them. You know, they're going out and playing hard.
So, Haley, with this timeout, what adjustments do you think Cheyenne is going to try and make?
I think Cheyenne's just going to go back out there and do what they've been doing, just play volleyball. And they were doing a great job in the beginning there. And the Deacons, I think in this adjustment, they just need to go out there and pressure and pressure and pressure. They were kind of back on their heels. They were playing a little more defensive side. I think they need to go out swinging offensively. Yeah,
I'd agree, Haley. I like that idea for Shanley. Go to the net and just kind of let them rip up there. Force Cheyenne to go up there and contest your shots. Because Shanley's got girls who can pack a punch between Meyer, Payne, Matheson. All three of them can get up there and just hammer that ball home.
Yep.
So they got to dare Cheyenne to go up there and put their hands up. Ball from Giak, taken in the back row by Feist. Here's Newton just tapping it over. Well played, though, by the Deacons. Meyer finds the hole and gets the kill. Big time point coming out of the timeout.
Big point. They needed that a lot, and they got the momentum. The fans are in it. The parents are cheering hard. It's exciting.
That brought a lot of life into the gym, Haley, as you were saying. Giak trying to continue a dominant run for Shanley. Ball put up into the air, a little awkward. Newton got it over, but a great defensive play does not fall for Shanley. Just out, they say. And I think it was close, but I think it just was over.
It looked like it was just a little bit out, but man, that's a close ball.
Right, and sometimes when such a great play happens, Giak made an incredible play there. You want that ball to be inbounds even more so, and you kind of convince yourself as that one does find its way in. So there's a kill for Riley Payne. Good work by the Deacons to get this thing right back.
And the Deacons are doing a great job, like I said, just trying to keep that throttle on and just go for it offensively. They were a little more defensive-minded in the beginning of this set. Now they're just going.
Deep ball from Heinrich, well played by Feist. Here's the spike from Newton. Was it in? No, it was not. Another big point for Shanley.
Big point. This is a big run for the Deacons right now. See if they can hold it.
Cheyenne was looking very dominant to start this set off. Shanley has come back, though. They've come storming back. Cheyenne, though, trying to regain that lead, and that's a good start.
Slow and steady. Now let's see if the Mustangs can answer by just going back and doing what they're doing earlier. Just playing volleyball.
Right, try to slow this pace down and play a little more comfortable. And that's a good start. There's an ace for the Mustangs.
The Deacons need an in the net right near. They need to have that ball go in the net and get the ball back in their hands.
Certainly, yeah. They really want to try and continue the momentum they had going. As Manuel got under that one, Stroup over to Meyer, and the ball falls on the Cheyenne side. Good play by Meyer. That's what the Deacons needed.
The power by Grace Meyer to go up in front of those two blockers, both of which are very strong and have very good verticals.
Stroup with some power behind that one. Tough play there for Cheyenne. They get it over, though. Good save defensively for Shanley. Meyer looking for the corner. Feist saved it and got it over. Giach now up to Meyer, trying to pick the corner. Feist is there. Here's the set from Newton and then the spike from Galdi. Easy play, though, for Heinrich. Strap now over to Matheson. She found a hole. Great play made by Hoffner. Galdi now back to Dobrins. Into the net, off the arms of Stroup, and the Deacons cannot get it over.
That's a tough break there by the Deacons, but good job and good volley from both sides and both teams. But man, there's a couple times where I thought the ball was going to fall on, the Cheyenne side, fall on the Deacon side, and it ended up falling on the Deacon side. And
what a play there from Feist.
Just stay focused. And earlier, like we said, the ball floating above the net. We thought the Deacons were winning the up-front battle overall in the first 2-3 matches. Now I think it's going back over to the Cheyenne side in the last two games.
Yeah, they've established their dominance the last two sets up there. It's been a little better at points in this set, but right there was a good example of how they can come right back as Dobrins has to track that one down. Galdi gets it over. Cheyenne looked a little confused there, but they do a good job getting it back. Meyer now sends one in off the arms that time of Newton, and that one's just not going to fall. Awkwardly played by Hoffner. Tough play, and not much Lambert could do.
That was a total communication error, that whole volley there on the Cheyenne Mustang side.
So Shanley now up by one. Meyer serving. Feist back there. Big time kill for Dobrins.
Dobrins.
That's just what she does, Haley. She comes out of nowhere and just lets it go, yeah.
It's just amazing how, every time it seems like in these last two sets.
It's interesting, Haley. She's 6'1".
Yes.
A tall player, dominant player, a player you got to pay attention to as that serve goes into the net. Not great for Cheyenne.
No.
You did not want that. But it's interesting, Haley, sometimes I feel like Dobrins, you kind of lose her in traffic, and then she just appears, as if she's basically teleporting around the court out there. She just appears out of nowhere and lets one go. She does a great job kind of staying in the background and then letting it go as that ball was tipped out of bounds.
And, the thing that I've noticed right now between this game is that both teams have been answering point by point. There's not been a big lead. It's just 1 point at a time.
Right, and earlier we did have some bigger leads by this game's standards, but you're right, both teams have done a great job answering, even when it looked like, both times it's looked like each one would pull away, the others come back. Strong volley for both teams. Huge shot. Lambert kept it going.
Great save.
And Feist finishes it off, but there's Kleiman making a great play. Here's the set, then the spike on the outside from Feist. Giach keeps it going up into the rafters. Stroup going over to Payne now. Good play by Crayons in the back court. Here we go, a little tap from Newton, then she finds open space, gets the kill, and that's a lead for Cheyenne.
That was a huge play by Cheyenne, and to use the aggression for the Deacons to come up and get a big block, just poke it over right in that big gap there on line.
Newton continuing to have a huge game here, Haley, as Kleiman gets under that one. McAllister pokes it over. Great play by Crayons. Trying to get it over was Lambert, but a miscommunication between her and Prohaska, and we're tied once again at 19.
Look at that, 1 point, point by point. Isn't that crazy, Ned? That's been the main point of, all of this whole set.
Like you said, Haley, very back and forth. Manuel back there serving. Lambert is there. Here's the set by Prohaska. Ball tipped at the line. It's kept alive here by the Deacons. Payne fires one. It was blocked. She got it back over, but it'll fall out of bounds. And there's that lead again for the Mustangs. They have clawed their way back.
This is big now right here. See who can pull away.
Absolutely critical points here. Shanley's got to win this set to stay alive. Great save made by Manuel. Kranz is back there for Sheyenne, though. Here's Newton looking for the kill. Climbing there, but it bounces out of bounds. And now it's 21-19. Shanley might be thinking about a timeout here.
And they did.
Yeah, and that's smart here. They're only down 2, but they're also 4 points away from losing the game here tonight.
Yep.
So that 2 points becomes a lot bigger when you realize that fact. So, Haley, they're 6 points away from taking game number 4, forcing a game number 5. But on the flip side, Cheyenne's only 4 away from getting the win here and ending things. So what do you think Shanley's got to do here in the remaining few points? What adjustments do they need to make to regain their lead?
I think the Deacons need, as you can see, there's 2 separate huddles going on. The one over there is for the defensive specialist. The other one is for the offensive specialist. They both need just to go out there and do their job. Defensively, I think the back row's just got to go out there and get good passes, good sets up to the hitters, and hitters got to follow through.
The other thing, Haley, it's obvious, but it's worth saying in this game, for both teams, you got to limit the mistakes. You cannot serve the ball into the net. You can't have any more miscommunications. We're talking about critical points here in a critical game. This is where you got to step up.
And the crowd's getting into it, and so are the fans. Let's see what's going to happen.
So there's the serve from Feist. Manuel was there. Straub sets for Payne. That ball blocked, but Straub was there to keep it alive. Manuel now over to Payne. Blocked once again, trying to keep it alive. The Deacons cannot, and that's a huge point coming out of the timeout for Sheyenne.
Great way to answer by the Sheyenne Mustangs. Tough one for the Deacons. But let's see what is going to happen here with this serve.
It's still a manageable deficit,
yes,
but you've got to try and win this point. That's not the way to do it, though. Straub makes a great play at the net. Payne pushes it over, and there's a big point for Shanley. Payne gets it over. It's tipped out of bounds, and we're looking at a 22-20 game now.
Good job by Payne there. She knew that she couldn't get a good contact on the ball. She just pushed it into the far corner, and she got the point. Ball back to Deacon's hands.
Giak serving now. She's who you'd want back there. The senior is reliable, but a great play in the middle made by Katie Borkhardt. She found a big gap in the defense and exploited it. It's now just 2 points. 2 points. That's all Sheyenne needs to win here tonight. Shanley going to do everything possible to keep that from happening. Obviously, that's what they needed, Haley. That's what we talked about. You can't have that here. An unfortunate break for Sheyenne is a big-time momentum swing for Shanley.
That was huge.
So Heinrich back to serve now. Crucial point, obviously. Here's the set from Prohaska. Newton fires, and it falls on the Shanley side. A big-time kill, and now Sheyenne just 1 point away from getting the win. Newton back to serve. She has been a pivotal piece of the Sheyenne attack tonight. Can she close it out here? Giak receives. Straub sets. Here comes Meyer firing one, and the Deacons aren't done yet. Big-time point.
The way that these teams have been answering to the competition tonight is unbelievable. This feels like a state championship match or a final EDC match.
Certainly, Haley, there's been no lack of entertainment as Straub gets this one over, and an ace for Jordan Straub. Big-time players make big-time plays. That's right, Haley.
And a timeout from the Sheyenne Mustangs.
How about that? You can feel the energy in here, Haley. A huge play made. We are now looking at just 1 point separating these two teams. If Shanley can win this next point, obviously, Haley, you got to win by two so they can keep things alive.
This is very pivotal on both sides of the ball right now, Sheyenne and the Deacons. Can the Deacons go out there and answer again just like Jordan Straub did? And going for the Mustangs, can they go out and close this game?
A lot of pressure on both teams here. Sheyenne trying to continue their dominance over Shanley this year. Certainly tonight, hasn't been dominance, but they won the first meeting earlier in the year. They want to get the clean sweep on the regular season.
And here we go right now with Jordan Straub back to serve, the senior.
Here we go, Shanley looking to keep things alive. Straub serve, taken in that back row. Put up in the air by Hoffner. Fired, misplayed at the line. Can they keep it going? Straub gets it up for Heinrich, and we're still going. Here's the set from Newton. DeBrins taps it over. Meyer now over to Straub. Back to Meyer for the kill.
And Meyer gets the kill!
Yes, she does! Big time play for Meyer.
Wow, and the senior and the veteran on the team going out there and making her name present.
We're not done yet here, folks. Got to win by 2. Here goes Straub trying to continue this run. Newton sets. DeBrin spikes. It's blocked, but it falls out of bounds.
Great play, though, by DeBrins to go up there and to use her power, knowing that the Deacons would come up and try to challenge her. Big play here.
Right back to match point. Lambert serving, misplayed in the backcourt. Straup trying to settle it down. And the point goes to Sheyenne for 4 hits there. It went off 2 players in the back row. And there's an anticlimactic end, Haley, to a huge game. And, you know, we saw, I think that was Heinrich and Giat collide back there. They both got their arms on it. And that is just such a tough play, Haley. I mean, just kind of the luck of how things bounced. Obviously, you know, error in communication, it contributes to it. But still, that's a tough way to end a hard-fought game for both teams.
And, you know, you never want to see a game end like that between 2 very good teams. You want to see it battling out like they were for the last 2-3 points there on both sides of the ball. But, man, what a fantastic game from the Sheyenne Mustangs and a fantastic effort by the Shanley Deacons.
Right, yeah, you can't take that away from Sheyenne. You know, obviously an error there, a tough break for Shanley cost some, but obviously Sheyenne played more than well enough to win there.
Correct.
Another great night for a great team. So let's go over some final stats here for the Deacons. It was Grace Meyer leading the way by quite a wide margin. 15 kills for her tonight. Lander Fredericks was second with 8. Payne and Matheson with 7 apiece. In the assist department, Olivia Manuel had 2, but Jordan Straup had 32, Haley.
Oh, my.
So, yeah, some big numbers there for Straup with the assists and 3 aces to go along with that. Over on the Cheyenne side of things, it was Dobrins and Newton with 11 kills leading the way, followed by Feist with 9, and then Galdi with 6. For the assists, it was Prohaska with 16, and then Newton with 12. So some final stats there. No surprise there. A lot of names we called a lot tonight, making plays all over. Haley, before we go here, your final thoughts on tonight and your final thoughts for these 2 teams going forward now as we move towards the end of the year.
I thought tonight was a great match and a great setup between both teams. They both played really well. I think it was the technical errors for both teams that got them into some tough spots, especially more for the Deacons there. They had a lot of technical errors, but there's a lot of positives to come to this game. The competition level between both teams was fantastic. The way to not to give up on both sides of the ball. They did a great job. The Deacons go out there and pursuing and be determined to go out there and keep playing. And for the Mustangs, finishing a game. They did a fantastic job.
Certainly, Haley, both teams will be fun to watch going forward. However, for tonight, for Haley Buckles and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 1, Cheyenne Mustangs 3. To watch the archive version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.